Um, let's go to development, pull, and let's do, going back to our, oh, I closed Miro. But if we go back to our Miro diagram, I think the next one we talked about was building a task API module that has like our task repository. So, but we also have our result class that we talked about. Um, so I think we should, hmm, it makes sense to do a core data module that has like our result data class, um, and then have our task API depend on that. Um, because if I ever want to make like a different data layer module, I'm gonna want this result class. So let's do that. Let's um, let's do TOA 82 core data module. And I know it's gonna be silly, just like the last one, because it'll have only one file for now, but it's like, again, this is about setting up the scalability to do a lot more with this app in the future, which takes me down an ADHD rabbit hole that I forgot in the very beginning. But shout out to Paul, who watches these videos on YouTube, who sent me an email with some ideas of feature requests that he thought would be cool, like the ability to support repeating tasks. So their example was like, oh, what if I want to like spend 30 minutes learning German every day? Like I would want a way to be able to create a task and just have it repeat. Um, in that vein, being able to like record photos and descriptions and having like a journey, like if I want to see my progress on tasks. So like if I have tasks every day to like learn German and then I want to be able to look back and like see my progress on that from when I've begun. Um, I think that would be really cool. And I think that fits with the theme of wanting to, which we haven't really focused on yet in the streams, but wanting to eventually make this like the wholesome task management application that like is like a feel good way to make it fun and exciting to stay organized. And so I thought like supporting like journeys, being able to like highlight your progress, I think that would be really cool. So I threw those in issues, and just a reminder to all of you again, if you think of something that would be cool for this project, let me know. Remind me to record an issue, or feel free to go to the GitHub project yourself and add one. Um, because that way it doesn't get lost. And if I don't work on it like next week or whatever, like it'll still be there. Um, okay, so let's get our core data regular framework. Same thing as before. This is also going to be another Kotlin multi-platform module. What we're going to do is remove all of the um, template files, the greeting and platform files, move over our result class, update everything, to use the new import. It should all just work. Um, fingers crossed, uh, without too much issue. Um, and then something worth noting about this though that I think I'm going to intentionally leave to maybe like next week, but you may notice that, so this is the same build.gradle KTS file as the other module, and there's some stuff that gets duplicated in here, like our compile SDK, um, our min SDK. We should pull this into like a centralized location so that all of our modules just reference that centralized configuration, so that I can change my compile SDK in one spot and have all of my modules update. And I think I'm going to intentionally leave that out of today's process, but definitely something we can look into next week. But just putting it on everyone's minds, of course, to think about. Um, okay, let's get rid of all these. Um, let's delete. Uh, One thing, I'm curious if this will help with my redundant qualifier problem from before. I'm going to go into the apps build.gradle, and I'm going to make sure that we implement the project first. And then maybe if I do this when I move that result file over, maybe I'll have a better maybe the IDE will get a little less confused about what the import statement should be. Um, so now we can take this, we can move this down into core data, common main. I'm actually just checking to see if there's any nodes in here. I think we're good. Um, we can now delete this directory where it used to be stored. And let's do a commit and here we'll just click through and see what's changed. Ooh, wait, did I? Oh no, I didn't mean to delete that whole file. I want, I still want these. Roll back. Oh, I see. I see what I did wrong there. I deleted the whole directory when I didn't mean to. Okay, and this is nice. I moved the file, um, and actually, I think because I kept the same package name coincidentally, there's like no real diff here. Okay. We will need to update stream history file real quick. Um, all the way down here. So this is the core data module. So here we can say adding core data module, and we'll get that pull request going. And then we can take this and we can start building our task API module. I never fixed this pull request. Was this WebShark? Were you the one who helped me make this? By presenting an idea on combining the use cases? I feel like that was you. Um, yeah, I did that, remember? And then this broke a bunch of unit tests, and I just haven't taken time to fix them. So that code actually never got merged, but we'll get there eventually. Um, because that was definitely better. But on that same point, we might actually be able to like, no, it wasn't your fault. But on that same point, we might even be able to rethink some of that code as we start moving things into a different module. Um, maybe if we change that use case paradigm and stuff, like we can rethink how that works. And then we can make sure it works this time around. That's just a thought. I don't know if we'll get to that tonight. Um, continuing work on number 82. Uh, projects. Okay. Yeah, I like that this diff is so small. Um, but I guess that makes sense. Okay. So we'll let that run, but now we can start a new. Assad, thank you for the follow. Um, now that we have our core data, we can move this over and start building a task API module is what we'll call it. So let's do the same thing we've been doing. New module, KMM shared module. We'll call this task API. Dot TOA dot task dot API. That's what we'll put there. Um, and finish. So we've got a task repository already, that I think we can basically just take this interface and copy it over into our shared module. Um, with the we'll want to change like this a little bit. Hmm, yeah. Um, we'll we'll worry about that in a second. Let's get rid of the um, task API. Let's get rid of our template files again, just because we don't need them. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Um, get rid of our template files, and then we'll get ready to move this file over in a moment. Um, let's go into build that Gradle for the app. Oh man, my typing is deteriorating real fast. Um, implementation project. Here we'll want to depend on task API. I think I can stop depending on core data. I think. But before I do that, I'm gonna get like the task API working, and then we can go over possibly cleaning up some code there. Um, so let's take our task repository. Um, I'm gonna copy this all, and then I'm gonna make a new file right here. Um, task repository. Well, okay, so I can't reference a task because it's not in this module here. So actually, let's go. So this is for the task API module. This is going to have some dependencies that we need to add. So this is going to depend on our core models project, but also will depend on our core data module. So we'll make sure that's there. So we can actually reference the results class as well. Get rid of that import. So that'll be a task. I think I need to add coroutines. Yes. Okay, let me find uh, the Calinex coroutines dependency real quick. Oops. So we also need to add coroutines as a dependency for this module. Um, coroutines core should give me everything I need. Um, launch async, dispatchers, flow, channel. Okay, yeah, that should give me everything I need. So that we should be able to import that as well. So here we'll do we'll change this. This should be date millis. Um, yeah, that's compiling. That's everything. Cool. So what we can do now that we have this, we're going to go to our other task repository, and what I'm going to do is delete it, and I'm just going to then do the build in Android Studio again, and just re-import in all the places that we were previously referencing a repository and update accordingly. Um, this will take a second, I guess. Well, because I guess I haven't built with this new module yet, so that makes sense that that would take some time. Let's check in on our pull request. Looks like it's still running. Yep. Okay, I like this though. I'm a little less worried as I go. Like I think this was definitely something I had to just like dive in and start building some modules to see how it worked. Um, I still think I'm gonna have some concerns as we get closer to this, but just like getting through what we've gotten through so far, um, I feel a lot better. So, um, once we have Task API working too, like maybe in the same pull request, we could make Task API test and build like a fake task repository. Another thing I've done in this app that I've also gone back and forth on in my career is that this app uses like a mocking library. We have like mock K, and I've gone back and forth on mocking libraries in my career, and I think like maybe this is a theme of like people who've done this a long time as a correlation I've seen, but like I I don't like them. I would much rather just build my own fake implementation more times than not at this point. Which feels weird. Like I don't know. Like I know that mocking libraries are helpful, but I feel like there's always that one niched case where they come to bite you, and it's just like it's I don't know, it's a hard thing to deal with. Aha. Okay. So we got some compilation errors right off the bat. Um, First one being in our dagger module. Box fakes. Yeah. Um, this app uses both or like a combination. This was actually an idea of Sam Edwards where you put a wrapper around your mocking library so you're not like super tightly coupled to it. And that's what this project does. But at this point, I think I would just rather not use the mock library at all. Um, okay, let's go into our data module because that's where this failed already initially. Um, So, well, um, oh, no, it's not here. It's in our repository module, not that one. So when we're trying to bind the task list repository, so let's return task repository here. But one thing we're going to need to do is our room task repository needs to implement task repository. Um, this is fine. This should be fine. Um, well, this goes to a long now. This is date millis. Um, uh, let's get our local date here. I really should have made the extension function. I can't believe I didn't. I really thought that I wouldn't have. I thought the diff was going to be a lot smaller than it was, but I'm just going to keep doing this for now. This is yelling at me because it expects the results of list of tasks, but it found result.success. But like, isn't that fine? Do I really need to cast? Like, like this feels weird to do, but it makes the compiler happy. That task can succeed. Can't it? Am I missing something here? No, right? This is required task list result, but found. What if I don't use the type alias? Uh, Now that's yelling at me for not using the same type as the parent. But okay, let's get rid of our type alias both here and in the parent. I don't need that. Oh, I think I know why this failed. Because this is referencing the Kotlin result class and not my result class. And that is why it was confused. So now that this type alias references the result class that I made, this will all work out fine. Cool. Okay. Um, why is this one wrong? Oh, because now this is also okay. Can I just do that? Let's import my result class because that's screwing up the others as well. That was the downfall of giving it the exact same name as an existing Kotlin class. Um, I honestly should have known better, but I didn't. Story of my life. Her beer is gone. That was fun. Okay, another pile error. That's list result. Just gotta update all these things now that we have a different repository. Um, Date millitier, so date past date millis here. Um, Update this repository. Hey, Wild Dog, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming by again. Is that actually wrong? I think that's fine. And let's do a build here. Nice. Our core data module passed. Why? And that coverage apparently also went down ever so slightly. How is this getting calculated that it's going down? Literally nothing changed. I don't know if it's considering like the KTS files maybe or something. I don't know. Um, let's run test to make sure those still pass. I am also doing great and just busy with work. We're having fun tonight. We are moving our app over to like a multi-module setup. So I'll show you in a second. Right now, what I'm doing is having just moved some things into a different module. I'm just dealing with all the uh, compilation errors that I have as a result. And I'll show you the idea of our module structure in a second. Um, but it's been an interesting conversation. You just woke up. That's exciting. Um, I, what part of the, let's see. You just woke up, so you're probably like in Asia or something, or that side of the world, I would have to guess. Maybe Europe. No, it's still a little too middle of the night for Europe. Um, yeah, so here is sort of the diagram we had started to come up with. So we'll have like an app module that depends on a number of feature modules that will have like the view state, the screens, the view models, and all that. And then within there, then we start moving into like the data stuff. So we'll eventually have a module that has like the implementation of a data layer, which would be like the room database. But then we'll have another module that is just like the API um, definition for that data layer. And that's actually what we just added is we took our repository and we moved it into a task API module. Then we have like our core data module, which right now really just holds our results class. Um, and a core models module, which is right now also just our task class because we don't really have a lot of files in this application yet. But it's cool to look at this now and start thinking about like scaling it up and how like this will be helpful as we add uh, more code into the app. So it's cool to kind of do this early. So this is the diagram. I'll probably add this to some notes in the repo at some point. Later on. Actually, this reminds me, let me show y'all something really cool uh, that I learned about. So there's this tool called Mermaid, which allows you to generate diagrams in Markdown, and there is now support for this in your Markdown files in GitHub. So let me zoom in on this to show you. So you see this flowchart on the left here? On like deploy to production, like, is it Friday? Yes, do not deploy. No, run deploy. Um, this whole diagram is built using this markdown that you see on the right. Now, this tool's been around, well, I don't know how long. This tool has existed. Mermaid, it's like a JavaScript framework, question mark, I think. We'll look at it in a second. Um, but now GitHub has added support for rendering these Mermaid charts inside their Markdown files, which I think also applies to like GitHub issues as well. Um, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, Mermaid is a JavaScript-based diagramming and charting tool. So if you want to learn more about this, I'll post this in the chat. But Mermaid does a ton of stuff. They do flowcharts, they do pie charts, you can do Gantt charts, um, sequence diagrams, you can do class diagrams. And it's really cool because there's also like live editors. So actually, so we could do like this is like a live editor of a like sequence diagram that they have. Um, you pretty much put the name and then you put some stuff below it. So like I could do like pie chart or is it just pie? Good question. Thought it was pie chart, but it might just be pie. And then I could do like Android 99, iOS 1. Will this render? I might be doing pie chart wrong. God dang it. Let me pull open the docs. Oh, you have to put like quotes around it. Literally, and just like that, we have a pie chart. And I just put this markdown. Oh, it's really small for y'all to see. Sorry. Yeah, and if I blow it up, it blows up the whole file. So I can go about here. But yeah, I just have those three pieces of markdown. If I put that anywhere, I'm gonna get a pie chart and it'll render in GitHub. Um, it's really cool. So definitely something worth checking out. So maybe I'll take the module diagram and use that when we get to it. Cool, our test pass. So let's commit this real quick. Adding task API module. Glad this worked. So once I push this, we can go merge that other pull request. And we can build the corresponding test module to go with this. So we've got our task API that has just task repository in it. But we're also going to make a task API test, and we're going to put inside here a fake task repository class. And then our feature later can just depend on this test version, um, or any features that reference task API. So like task list feature would do the same, can have this test dependency that will have like the fake implementation. I think that's the way to go. Um, that's something I've seen. I'm not sure how I feel about it. We'll try it out. We'll see what we think after we get after we make it. So let's. Oops, that's not the project I wanted. TOA. So this failed because of coveralls because it went down 0.06%, which I have no idea how that happened. But the test at least ran, so I'm still going to squash and merge this. Um, and while that's going, let's get the new pull request up. Adding task API module. So this module maintains our task repository. And I'm gonna do this part before we merge it, but as well as our um, test artifact for this module. Give that tech.net label, throw that in the dev experience project, and create pull request. This is going to claim merge conflicts, I guess. Um, let's just resolve those conflicts in GitHub, I think. Um, this actually looks like that's not actually different. Although I should add here task API module. What exactly is tech debt? That's just a label I use for, I guess, anything that's like internal work. So I could label it like developer experience or something like that, but that was kind of my way of just describing like non-feature based work on the project. It's not really technical debt. Like I'm not really like refactoring old code that's causing a problem, which is what most people refer to as tech debt. Uh, I'm using it more as just like a like non-feature based work. Uh, there's probably a better word, but that's what I was trying to capture there. Yeah, no, that's a good question. I could see how that wouldn't be interpreted the same way for everybody. Okay. And since I merged on GitHub, we can do a pull and get our update here. Okay, cool. So yeah, so this is actually the thing we talked about earlier. This is our fake task repository, which is like, oddly enough, ooh, WebShark gifting another sub. Thank you, WebShark. That's two on the night. Thank you so much. Um, I really appreciate all the support. I get like the little bit I get from subs go into small updates like the sub badges, or I also do plan on donating. I've kept the tally of how much I have made from Twitch and I want to donate it. I just haven't yet decided where. Um, I know I've been saying that for a long time, but I think I've got some ideas. I think I'm just going to do that soon. And I'll let y'all know what I end up doing with that. But and enjoy the cupcake next to your name, Wild Dog. Um, all of the sub badges are themed after the Android desserts. So, okay. But yeah, we're basically going to take this fake task repository. We're going to rebuild this in a new module. Um, and I'm just gonna, but I'm not gonna use the mock.k library. I'm gonna rebuild this myself. So let's pretend this file doesn't exist. Um, Now, should we? I guess we'll just keep doing what we've been doing, which we can make this another KMM supported module here. And we'll call this task API test. Uh, Task API.test and regular framework and finish. So we'll let that build. And nice, it's getting faster for some reason. Um, so we'll go into task API test. And like I said, I have no idea if this feels like it feels like the right thing to do. Um, we'll see how it goes. We will delete this. Um, and what will this need to depend on? Um, well, this will depend on, can I just do, can I do task API or do I need to depend on both? I think the answer is it depends. I think there's a way to like not depend on to not have to depend on everything. Hold on, let's go into build decorator for task API. Well, here I needed both. But I'm wondering for this one, if I just depend on task API, if that's enough. And I think the answer to that is possibly, but I might have to change some syntax to get transitive information, but I might not. We'll find out when we start to write this. So, now that we are at least depending on that, let's go into here. Let's make a fake task repository. This will implement task repository. So we can put here a concrete implementation of task repository that allows the caller to mock and verify calls to this repo. Um, nice. So we're just going to do all this. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, here's an example. So this seems to not be able to support coroutines. So um, does anyone know? I know there's syntax for this. To get transitive dependencies, is it API? If I make this API, does that mean the dependency will like carry over to the children or to the people that depend on this module? I mean, I could make my module also depend on. Yes, that worked. I could make my module also depend on coroutines, but I feel like that's unnecessary. Like, if I'm going to use Task API, then I'm going to need coroutines, so I should just make this like API. This is probably true of these two, but um, I think so far that's not an issue. Oh, no, it is. That's yelling at me as well. Okay, so I'll just make these all API, like because these do need to get passed through. But it's good to know if like I did not want to expose that information that I can do that. Um, and let's clean up our imports as a result of that. Ah, that needs to go up here. We can get rid of redundant qualifiers there. Okay, so let's talk about how we build a fake. So there's two ways we can think about like building our own fake implementation. One is like if I want to, well, be able to mock the return type of a call. And then two, like if I want to verify that a call was made. Now, because all of these return something, um, I could keep track of like a list of invocations, but maybe another way to do it is to be like, um, I guess how do I think about this? Like let's look at this first one. So we've got a task list result, which is like all of the tasks, right? The way I would do this is I would expose like a public variable called like all tasks response or something like that. This would be like a flow task list result. And I made this late in it, so like someone has to define it. And then here, when I return this, when I call fetch all tasks, I just return this. And if someone failed to define this, then our test will fail. And that's to be expected. Like you need to supply it. Now this is where like mocking libraries can get fancy because they can make it so that you don't have to fill this out if you don't want to. But I'm gonna say that you have to. Um, and we could do a similar thing basically for each of these. So, but if there's input, we could have like a map um, of results. So, God, how do I? This gets complicated. Like, I can clean up the generics, but what I'm thinking of is like we could have uh, tasks for date results. This could be like a mutable map that has, well, there's two pieces of input here, right? So there's like our date millies and our completed. So this is really like a pair long Boolean that map to a flow task list result immutable map of. But here, so like what we could say is like input pair will be like pair date millis completed, and then we could just say return task for date results for that pair. And so we're forcing the caller to specify what the return value of this request would be in order for it to work. Um, and if they don't, this crashes, but that's fine because this is a test API. Like I typically would not use this double bang operator in production code, but in tests, it's like I want to fail if this isn't here. Like I want to know, so that's fine. Um, and let's clean this up. So let's call this like tasks. Whoops. Let's do a type alias. Call this tasks for date input. Um, and this will be a pair long boolean. It might even make more sense to have this be like to put like an object here, like task for date request body or something. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's more over engineering than what trying to do what I'm doing here. Um, okay, so let's try that. And then there are others that I think we don't use delete or update, but I do think add task gets called. So we could have something like this, like add task results. This would be like mutable map. The input is a task, and then we have result unit as the results, right? And oops, mutable map of. And so here we could just do the same thing. Return add task results for our input. So this is what our fake would look like. Without implementing these other two, because we don't need them yet. Um, this gives us a chance to mock those other three. Also, excuse me, one. Sorry about that. Um, so let's take this and let's use this fake task repository in our tests. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to go into build.gradle for our app. Um, and we're going to go into test implementation. And we're going to do test implementation project task API test. We will do a sync and once that's done, so we'll go into our fake task repository. We'll go into this one that we made before, um, and let's get rid of it. Lead anyway. And let's do a rebuild and we'll find the spots where it's gone and we'll fix those to use our new fake. And I think looking at the time, once we wrap up this module is probably around the time I'll call it a night. Cheers, Wild Dog. Thanks. Um, oh, cool. So adding this module didn't break test coverage, but wait, did you build? I don't believe you. Maybe it's because it didn't run test. Come on. I should probably be specifying that I want to run test for the app module. It's not something I'm used to doing because I've only had one module, but now that I have more, I should probably like rethink that. Um, ooh, interesting. Hold on. So add dependency on module task API test common main. Don't I already have that? Isn't that what this does? Test implementation project task API test. So shouldn't I be able to import this? What happens if I say yes to add that dependency? It didn't do anything. Um, Interesting. Huh. Assume this works. Like, I mean, if I do this, like, I guess I don't think this will work. No, it doesn't work that way. Is it in my settings.gradle? Yeah, task API test is there. And test implementation project. Huh. Let's see if this is a known. I can't find anything about this. I don't understand. So I only want to include this project in my test implementation. So that's what I have this here. Um, but I can't, it's not referencing it. Um, why not? Do I need to move it into like common test? Although I didn't think that it would be. I assumed that common test meant for meant test for this module, but I wonder if it like only passes stuff through for like. So let me just try out that idea as I'm thinking about it. So basically in task API test, so if I did common test, um, Kotlin com immediately TOA task API test. If I put this here instead, will that do it? Is that what I need to do? No, it still is not showing up there. Well, now it's just telling me to depend on common test. So that was wrong. So let's delete this. Um, do a clean build. Maybe there's, whoops. Do a clean build. Maybe I'm missing something, or there's some weird caching happening. Huh. Can anyone else have any guesses why this isn't working the way I thought it would? I can't think of anything here. And this is, yeah, this is my JVM test. I could see if I was in like my Android test why that might feel weird, but is it because this is slash Java? Shouldn't be, right? Should still work. Huh. Android multi-module test dependency. Dependencies, test implementation, project, module. That's exactly what I have. Oh, but maybe I need to do, maybe I need to add source sets? If it doesn't build, I can try that. Hmm. let's look at this blog post a little better. Sharing test code in a multi-module Android project. Seems like exactly what I'm trying to do. And the source files under. Okay, maybe this is what we need. Although I still don't understand why it doesn't work, but maybe we need to do something like this. Oops, I don't know if you can see this. Maybe we need to do something like this where we update the source sets to include the main source from the other project. That's something I'm going to try if this clean build doesn't work out, which is taking its time, but that makes sense because it is a clean build. Classic. Oh, oh wait, yeah, okay. There's the issue. Same issue here. Okay, so let's try that code. So where does that go? So it goes inside Android. Okay. So inside Android, we'll go to source sets. This will be for the regular test. Yeah. Project task API test. Then file, we can do source common main / colon. Um, let's try this out. Uh, Oh, look, and now we can import it. Nice. Okay, so let's clean all this up. We're gonna have anywhere we mock it, we're gonna have to do stuff. Yeah, so here we go. Um, Same thing here. So we'll get the date millies. Uh, so pair date millies result. Oops. Um, am I? I'm not really keeping track of the completed state here, but there's a mock. We'll just do a flow that emits one item. Let's see if that works. Okay, and let's run app test. So we only run it for our one module. Okay, and yeah, once this works, I'm gonna wrap up and call it a night. This has been a really interesting stream. Thank you all who came by and were interested in talking through the module structure and helping me understand what to do. My problem with using source sets has been sometimes Android Studio does not recognize imports and the analyzer gets stuck and syntax highlighting stops working. Then you just have to invalidate caches and restart like the rest of us. That's Oh, we do have an update call? Interesting. Okay, so we're going to have to uh, do the same thing for update. Um, so anytime we call update task, we're going to say return update task results for this task. And then here we can do fake task repository dot update task results for the completed task equals mock result. Oh, that's very cool. Try this again. Come on, I believe. Nice. It's cool to see all these like other modules and how it just says up to date. Like that's showing that it's limiting how much like compilation it has to do. So our tests just running this is faster, a bit faster already. I should have benchmarked it. I didn't really think about it ahead of time. But I should have benchmarked like for the app module how long a clean build took and then versus splitting this up, how much faster we made it. It's something I could probably go back and get. Um, Come on. I just said it was faster and now it's like slow down. Okay. So our test failing. Um, no, we're wrapping up. Well, we made a our task API module, and then we made like a task API test module with like a fake repository, and we swapped that out for the other fake that used to be there. And I just want to get the test to pass, and then I'm gonna wrap up. So we're almost done, but it looks like I broke some tests. So um, let's see if we can figure out why we broke them. I think I have a hunch. Um, so let's debug this and let's get some details. Come on. I think it has to do with the way I'm mocking results here because I just realized this says mock the tests for this date. But if I look at the way that was built, it needs to know if I'm requesting like the completed tests or not. Um, and so I'm only mocking like the completed tasks, but I wonder if that's a mistake and that like do I need to mock for both? Um, Once I know what the comparison failure actually was, we can verify that. Um, and this is one of the things that we talked about way earlier that I think we probably want to refactor kind of how this test for date stuff works. Um, that's fine. Debug window here. Exception and thread. Yes, because, okay. So basically, what's happening here is in practice, what our view model is doing is it's making two requests. One to get the incomplete tasks for a date, and one to get the completed task for a date. What I did here is I'm basically saying to mock the tasks for this date that are completed. Uh, so I basically need to basically duplicate this, I think. Uh, to where I say, okay, if this is called for false, um, that's for date results. For incomplete input, I'll just return the same thing. And I think this is how it was, so I think our test should pass if I do this. Let's find out. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully it's faster now, but we shall see. Yeah, Sam, you missed an incredible moment though where we did a Rubik's Cube solve and I did it in like 20 seconds flat. It was incredible. I was very happy. I have not done it that fast in a while. I don't know the last time I was ever under 20 seconds. I would love to get back under 20 seconds one day. I'm sure I can get there if I actually like practiced it some more, but that's a lot of effort. Come on. Want to do it again? Maybe. Maybe after I get through this. I want to see this. I want to see these tests pass. Come on. Ah, you redeemed the cube solve. All right, give me just a sec to see if I'll get give me just a sec to see these tests run. Uh I removed it because I just feel like mocking libraries. I'd rather just do it myself, is kind of what it came down to. I think mocking libraries are helpful, but I find every once in a while they just get you those weird gotcha moments that are annoying to deal with, and I find I'd just rather have control over the test implementations. But that's definitely something I recognize as a personal preference, and so I'm not going to our test pass. I'm not going to say like people have to do this. That's just kind of the preference that I've fallen into. Um, yeah, but I don't have some profound technical reason. And that's a good question about the KMP. I don't know if I'd assume that Mach K because it's just pure Kotlin. I think other like anyone using a Kotlin app can use it. I think it would work. But that is a good question. I don't know that with certainty, but I think that it would work in a KMP world as well. Um, okay, let's get a prediction going. I'll do the same thing. This time we'll do a 2 minute window. I'm still gonna do a warm up cube solve, but y'all get a 2 minute window to predict. So the over under should be set at 27.5 seconds. And you all get to bet your channel points on whether or not I can do it faster that. Nah, I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again. You all can decide if it's gonna be fast or not. I'm gonna do another warm up here. But yeah, you can bet your channel points to see if I'm over or under 27.5 seconds. And then if you win the prediction, you get more channel points, and you can use those to redeem more cube solves or redeem the Captain America hoodie stream one day. Don't redeem that tonight because I am getting ready to go. But oh, this is going to be a fast one. This is going to be a fast warm up, I think. The cross is looking good. All right. Oh, let's hold on. Okay, here we go. Oh no, that was bad. Okay, okay. So I'm like right there. But as you saw earlier, the warm-ups were good. So that means for the real one, maybe we'll be there. Um, wow, that's like right on the line too. Okay, I'm gonna wait for the prediction to wind down. This one will be for the money. Wow, you are all expecting um a good run here. I hope to not let y'all down. Huh. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. Adam, no. Adam, no. Oh, I messed up. It slipped out of my hands. Oh no. I was going way too fast. Oh no. I was doing so good. I'm so upset. I'm not counting it. I'm not counting it. I dropped it. I'm not counting it. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Ah, I was doing so good, and then I like dropped it, and I couldn't figure out what happened. We're not counting it. Getting sweaty in here. Okay, let's take a second to look at this. Okay, let's see how this goes. All right, there we go. 24.06. We can end the night on a nice, speedy Rubik's Cube solve that makes everyone who predicted for the speed happy. Which is literally all of you. I'm gonna have to lower the threshold on this. It used to be that 27.5 was iffy, but um, I think we're gonna have to make it a little trickier. Um, Oh my God. Okay, so our test passed locally. I will keep an eye on GitHub Actions to make sure that does complete and that there are no issues. But what a stream. We're just coming up on 3 hours. That was awesome. We got like and we got like 4 modules into the app. We did tons of refactoring. There were 2 gifted subs tonight. Thank you, WebShark. Pretty sure you were both of them. OM Tristan subbed tonight. Thank you to all the regulars that came back. Thank you to all the new follows we had today. Let's see if there's someone we want to raid. Honestly, I'm probably. Where's Lando? Is Lando not live? Lando, it should be live. Lando is live. We're going to go raid Lando, who is a Rocket League coach, but I just love hanging out with him. He's really great, so I always love going to give his stream some support. So if y'all are interested in esports, hang out for 10 seconds. We'll go raid Lando um, and see some Rocket League stuff. And I will see all of you back here next Wednesday. So have a great night, everybody.